Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture series of Computer Organization and Advanced Microprocessors. This is our 15th lecture, and in this lecture we are going to learn about the encoder and decoder. So let's start. Okay, now let's first understand the process of encoding and decoding. Very first we'll understand in the terms of the psychological level. So there are basically three levels for encoding and decoding process: linguistic level, psychological level, and acoustic level. As you can see in the image that we have one sender and one receiver. So what happened to establish any communication? We have normally two entities. One is a sender and the other is a receiver. And what happened when we speak anything we speak, before that our brain encode that data, because whatever we are speaking, it is ultimately based on our information, and first we decide in the mind that what we want to speak or what the message we want to deliver. So first we encode that data, then our senses convert those data into the words, and then whatever we are speaking, those signals travels through some channel, some medium, to the receiver end. That these signals are nothing but your actual message or original message. Then after reaching to the other side, at the end of the channel, the receiver's hearing senses hear those signals, and based on the information or the data in the brain, it decodes that data, that decodes that signals, and understand that what this sender wants to convey. Right, so this process is called the encoding and the decoding process. So this is a basic psychological level meaning of the encoding and decoding. In other terms, if we talk, we can say that encoding is the process of converting data from one form to the another, and is nothing but the translation of a message that is easily understood by anyone. And when actually you decode the message, actually what you are doing, you are extracting the meaning of that message in ways that make sense to you, right? So, decoding has both the verbal and non-verbal forms of communication. You must have seen that behavior of someone, like if someone is crying, or if someone is upset, or if someone is laughing. So based on your past information, you try to decode the behavior without using words, and means observing body language and its associated emotions only. Right, so let's take an example that somebody some body language signs for when someone is upset, angry, or stressed would be a use of excessive, it might be also possible that excessive use of hands or arms movements, then red in the face, then crying, and even sometimes silence. So sometimes when someone is trying to get a message across to someone, the message can be interpreted differently from person to person, right? Because ultimately it is based on the perception and the information that the person has. So decoding is all about the understanding of what someone already knows, and based on the information given throughout the message being received. So whether there is a large audience or exchanging a message to one person, irrespective of number of people at the receiver end. So decoding is the process of obtaining, absorbing, understanding, and sometimes using the information that was given throughout a verbal or the non-verbal message. So this is all about the encoding and decoding process in a real world or at a psychological level. And now we will learn, now we will see that what is the actual meaning of encoding and decoding in the computer science. Okay, so now let's understand the encoding and decoding process in the context of computer science, or how your computer encode and decode the data. So very first, what happens, whatever the input you are giving to the computer, first your system encode that data. After encoding that data, it works on some it generates some numbers or some codes, and at the end when you get the output, it decodes that data. and finally we get the our output. So this is our input and this is our input and this is our outputs, and in between there are two processes. One is encoding and the second is the decoding. Let's understand the same thing with the help of the ASCII context. So what happens when you press capital A? So that this becomes my input, and then this my system understand or fetch the ASCII value of entered character, and 65 is an ASCII value for the capital A. Then my computer or my system understand this data and will or it takes this 65 as actual input text, then it encode this data in a binary form. So this is nothing but the data conversion, right? We know that the encoding is nothing but the converting data from one form to the another. So I got the different form of the entered data. I entered A and my system or my processor is working on this binary digits. After encoding this, at the next step, this encoded data will be given to the another circuit or the another system, and it will convert that data again in the original formats, and this is nothing but the decoding process, right? And at the end, finally, after decoding this 65 as well, it will give me the output of capital A. So this is the basic idea or the basic working process of the working process of the encoding and decoding inside the system. So also we can say that encoding is the process of converting the data or a given sequence of characters, symbols, alphabets, etc. into a specified format for the secure transmission of the data. Because when you send any message, when you send any data on a channel, on a transmission medium, it has to be secure, and to make it secure we need this type of the encoding and decoding methods. So decoding is the reverse process of encoding. Now we can see over here that I had input capital A, then I got the 65, and then I got this binary number, and this portion, see, this portion basically, this is nothing but my encoding process, and here I am getting the decoded data. So decoding is the reverse process of encoding, which is the extract the information from the converted format, right? So data encoding is nothing but encoding is the process of using various patterns of the voltage or the current levels to represent ones and zeros of the digital signals on the transmission link. Yes, what will happen that when you convert this capital A into 65, and finally we'll get the 0101, but we know that if there is a 0, it means there is 0 voltage, and if there is a 1, means there is a plus 5 volt, right? Means plus 5 volt. So based on the digits, like based on the binary numbers or the voltage or the current levels, it represents zeros and the ones for all the digital signals on the transmission link. And this transmission link is nothing but the my bus. We have already seen the concept of the bus, right? So this is the basic idea of encoding and decoding process inside the system or inside the processor. Okay, so after understanding the process of encoding and decoding, now it's time to know that who is actually doing this process, right? If I say that encoding is there, decoding is there, so for that we must have some circuits, and as you can see in the image that we have two different circuits. One is encoder and the other is a decoder. So now let's just understand this encoder and decoder circuits in a brief. So see, encoder always take the inputs this way, and it always generates the binary data. Keep in mind that encoder always generates the binary data, and this binary data becomes the input for the decoder, and then finally decoder will generate the original data. So as we have already seen in the last slide about we took the example of the capital A. So let's say that we are giving A as an input. So there must be one encoder in between who will understand or will convert it into 65. Then again it will convert it into the some binary format. This binary data will become the input of my decoder, right? And then it will convert it into the again into 65, and finally I'll get the capital A. So this is the basic idea of the encoder and decoder. Encoder encodes the data inputted by the system or inputted by the user. Whatever the input it gets, it always converts the data or encodes the data into the binary. Always remember that decoder always takes the binary data as an input and generates the final output. So always you will get whatever you have inputted at the encoder side, always you will get the same data at the decoder side, but in the output format. So this is just an idea about the encoder and decoder circuit. Now we'll see the encoder and decoder circuit in little bit detail. We'll see about it's a truth table, it's a logic circuit, it's a block diagram, and also we'll know that how it works. So let's start with the encoder and decoder. Okay, so now let's start with the encoder circuit. Okay, so now let's understand the encoder in detail. So as we know that the encoder is a logic circuit, and that is the combinational circuit. Why it's a combinational circuit? Because we never use the output of the encoder as an input for the next phase. Here we are not talking about the encoder or a decoder. Here only we are talking about the combinational circuit concept. Then it accepts an active label, that is the one on one of its input representing a digit, that is the decimal or the octal digit, and converts it into a coded output, that is the binary. As this we know that suppose I have 10, suppose I have let's say 3. It's my binary number, right? And it will be converted into 0, 1 and 1. So this 2, 1 will be my active high or the active labels, and based on that I'll get the output. So then the process of the converting from familiar symbols or the numbers to a coded format is called the coding. This is a simple definition of the encoding process. Then an encoder is a combinational circuit that performs the reverse operation of a decoder. It's very simple because we know that encoding and decoding both are the opposite processes. So same for the circuits. Then it has a maximum of 2 raised to n input lines and n output lines. This need to understand that suppose let's say that there are 2 raised to 3 total input lines I have. Means how many lines I have? Total 8 lines I have. So in that case, how many output lines I will have? I will have the 3 output lines, because I know that when we talk about the total 8 combinations, then there are maximum possibility of 3 digits, and so I'll always get the 3 as an output, 3 total lines as an output. It will produce a binary code equivalent to the input, which is active high. It is very simple, right? This active high term we will understand in the next lecture, next slide, when we will learn about the circuit from when we will draw the circuit from the truth table. And then for the encoder, encodes the 2 raised to input lines with the n bits. It's a simple, right? And it is optional to represent the enable signal in encoders. Okay, so as we know that when we draw the combinational or the sequential circuit, normally we draw the enable lines. Remember that clock lines or arrow we have drawn, right? Because we are showing the signals or the power supplies or the clock pulses, but in encoder it is not required. It is an option. If you want to show, then you can, otherwise it will be fine. So it's a basic idea about the encoder. Now I'll see about the its logic. Will draw the logic circuit, truth table, and the block diagram. Based on the main data type or the main types of the input, there are encoders available. We'll discuss decimal to binary encoder and the octal to binary encoder. And what we will do in a first encoder, we'll take decimal numbers as an input and we'll convert them into the binary. And in the second type, we'll take the octal as an input and we'll convert them into the binary. So let's start with the decimal to the binary encoder. Okay, so now first let's start with the decimal to binary encoders block diagram. So here we have the block diagram for the decimal to the binary encoders, and this is the 10 by 4 encoders. So see this, here this side we have decimal inputs, here we have decimal inputs, and here we have the binary output. Okay, so how many total numbers we are inputting? There are total 9, total 10 0 to 9, and based on that we have the 4 outputs, right? So that we call the 10 raised to 4 encoder. Then okay, so binary code or a BCD where 10 decimal digits, that is 0 to 9, are represented by their 4 digits binary counterparts, and decimal to binary codes encoder has 10 inputs and the 4 outputs. So what you need to do is you need to check that how many inputs are there, and based on the inputs how many bits you required to convert them into the binary, right? And based on that you can design the output lines. So here we have block diagram for the decimal to binary encoders. One more thing you need to remember about this LSB and the MSB, that you'll see in the next slide, that what is the importance of the LSB and the MSB. So there's a simple block diagram where you are giving the 10 different inputs and there are total 4 different outputs. Okay, now let's take an example of the encoder. So here we have taken an example of decimal to binary encoder, and here we have one decimal number, that is the 5, and the conversion of the decimal to binary is 0101. Okay, so here we have 10 by 4 encoder, and here we have total 10 different inputs. So from this input line, we are inputting the 5 internally. Here internally there must be some process will be some process will take place, and what it will pass, it will pass this. Okay, it will pass the 0 1 0 and 1. Now the question is why we have started with the bottom side 0 1 0 1. So the reason is the LSB and the MSB. To understand the concept or how the arrangement of the output lines, look at this diagram. See this diagram, here we have MSB and the LSB. So when you put the weights in this manner, so right hand side becomes your LSB and left hand side becomes your MSB. So here we know that 0 is my MSB and this 1 is my LSB. So this way we have placed the output lines. So this is a simple example of the decimal to binary encoder. Okay, so now let's see the truth table of the decimal to binary encoder. Here we have the truth table for the decimal to binary encoder, and here this is the input and this is the output, right? Okay, because we know the concept of the MSB and the LSB, that is most significant bit and the least significant bit. So if we say that let's say 5, we will talk about this. Okay, so 5. So when we say 5, what is the binary for 5? The binary for 5 is 0 1 0 1. This is the binary, right? And so we have placed 0 1 0 and 1, and this way we can simply write the binary numbers for all this decimal digits. And this is a simple table for all the decimal digits. This is a simple binary conversion, nothing else. This is a simple truth table, and based on this truth table we will design the logic circuit. This is the logic circuit of decimal to binary encoder. Here you can see that we have total 10 inputs and the 4 output lines. We already know that how to draw the logic circuit from the truth table. We have already studied it in the previous video. So if you have not watched the previous videos, just go watch the videos and see that how to draw the logic circuit from the truth table. This is just the highlighted images for the different inputs like 0, 5 and 8, which you can see that green lines, that is highlighted lines. So just to get the clear idea that how the circuit has been designed. In a similar way, we have the octal digits. See, we have octal digits. Total eight numbers are there, total 8 inputs are there, and so we have total 3 outputs, 3 BCD codes. So the 3 sections we have A, B and C, and again the same thing we have done. We have the octal digits and it's a binary code we have written in the tables. It's a simple 8 by 3 encoder truth table. Okay, and again we have the logic circuit for the previous truth table. We have total 8 inputs and the 3 outputs, and based on the input lines you can see the different pitches are there. See, this shows that this is the input, right? Okay, so this is easy. This you can draw by your own. Okay, now let's talk about the decoders in detail. We know that the decoders process is the reverse of the encoder. So we know that decoders is a combinational logic circuit and it performs the opposite function of the encoder circuit, right? We know that the encoder and decoder both are the opposite in the functions. Then a decoder is a circuit that changes a code into a set of signals. It is called a decoder because it does the reverse of encoding. And a decoder converts binary information from input lines to maximum of 2 raised to n unique output lines. This is a simple reverse process of the encoder. In encoder, we take the 2 raised to n inputs and we get the n outputs. And here we have, say this, here we have n inputs and 2 raised to n outputs, and in the encoder what we do, there is a 2 raised to n input and the n outputs, right? So this is simple decoder definition and the brief about that. Now we'll see the truth table, block diagram and the circuit. Now let's see the block diagram of truth table. Here we have 3 by 8 decoder and other we have 2 by 4 decoder. See, depending on the requirement you can design, you can use the different encoders in the decoder. So 3 by 8 decoder we have and the 2 by 4 decoder we have. As you can see in the image that here we have total 3 input lines we have. This is my binary data, and based on the binary data, here we have the outputs, right? See, suppose if let's say that I have 1 0 1 is my input, means 1 0 and 1 is my input. So in that case I'll get the output at this location. This will be active, right? This is my binary and this is my decimal. And the same with the 2 by 4 decoder. Let's say here I have 1 1, this 2 inputs I have. So in that case I'll get this line active. So it's a simple block diagram for the decoders. Okay, so here we have the truth table for the 3 line to 2 8 line decoder. We have 3 inputs, total 3 binary digits we are going to input, and based on that we will check that which line is activate or active for the specific value. So because it's 3 line to 8, total 8 inputs are there and 8 outputs are there and the 3 inputs are there. Okay, and here we have the logic circuit for the given truth table we have just seen, so in the last slide. So based on that truth table you can design the logic circuit. XYZ 3 inputs are there, XOR, Y bar, Z bar are NOT gates, and based on the input that is 1 and 1 we can see the output. So it's about the decoder logic circuit. Okay guys, so it was all about the encoder and decoder. Lots of things we have learned right from the block diagram, then logic circuits, then truth table. Also we have seen the difference between the encoder, decoder, and we started with the what is the process encoding and decoding process is. So it's all about the encoder and decoder. Happy learning. Thank you.